Jaya Jaya
Radha Ramana Hare Govinda Jaya Jaya
Radha Ramana Hari Govinda Jaya Jaya
Radha Ramana Hare Govinda Jaya Jaya
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Ram Kishore Kishore Jaya Kishore Kishore Jaya Kishore Kishore Jaya Kishore Kishore Jaya Laddu Gopal Laddu Gopal Jaya Jaya Srinath Ji Jaya Srinath Ji Jaya Giri Varadari Srinath Ji Jaya Goranitaya Jaya Goranitaya Gopika Pavana Goranitaya
Jaya Goranita Jaya Goranita Adita Pavana Goranita
Jaya Nitai Sati Mula Nitai Sati Mula Goranitaya Jaya Nitai Gora Sundar Nitai Gora Sundar Goranitaya Jaya Jagannatha Jaya Jagannatha Jaya Baladeva Jaya Subhadra Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada ki Nitai Gaur Sundar ki Nitai Kishore ki Nitai Gaur Jaya, now we all sit down. Thank you. सबका अभिषेक हो गया everybody did अभिषेक Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Vasyatya Nidra Bhaya Maithunam Cha Etat Samanam Asudhi Naranam Dharma hi eko adhiko viseso Dharme nahina pasudhi samana. Ahar means to eat. Nidra means to sleep. Bhaya means to protect ourselves from enemies, from fears. Maithunamcha, producing children. These four activities are present in each and every living entity.
Whether the living entity is a human being, or a chicken, or a pig, or an amoeba, or a plant, they all eat, they all sleep, they all produce children, and they all defend themselves from various dangers that come in front of them. So, what is the differentiating factor between all other living entities and the human beings? What is the special prerogative that the human beings have? Dharma hi eko adhiko vishesho dharme nahi na pashubhi samana. We have been blessed by special or higher intelligence. The higher intelligence is given to us so that we can think about ourselves. What is the goal of our life? Who am I? Why am I suffering even if I don't want to suffer? This higher intelligence is given. The cats and dogs, the animals cannot question like this. They are just happy in getting food, having a nice place to stay, having children, and nice place, an environment where there is no danger to them. They are very protected. That is all they look for. But we have higher intelligence. But so somebody can say, yeah, but the way cats and dogs live, we live in a very sophisticated way. We have evolved ourselves in intelligence. We have big houses, big cars, amazing technology, and banking system, governments, and all those things. But at the end of the day, when you look at everything, it still boils down to we are doing the basic four things, using them, maybe in a sophisticated way. There was a king called Alexander. He had a thirst or a greed to expand his kingdom all over the earth. So he started capturing various countries, and he would take his big army and he would march and he would keep conquering different countries, and he came to India. And he came to India, and as you know, before, India was divided into many kingdoms of the kingly kingdoms, right? There were many kings within India, dynasties. So he started conquering different places in India, and the very first place he went, he was resting at night, and they used to put out tents. We call it camping here, but they put out tents and they rest, all the soldiers and Alexander too. A thief came to Alexander's place, right? And he tried stealing, and he saw, where should I steal from? So he saw Alexander's tent was the biggest, so he thought, this is the best place for me to steal. So he went inside and he was trying to steal something, and he was caught while stealing. He was caught red-handed. So when he was caught, Alexander was called upon. There was a quick court put together, and they quickly passed the justice on him that he should be beheaded for stealing. So when Alexander gave him the order that this person should be beheaded because he is stealing in my tent, the person said, wait a minute, how do you decide that I should be beheaded? Nobody yet had questioned Alexander so far. Alexander was astonished. What do you mean? You were stealing in my tent. He says, so you and I both are same. What is the difference between you and I? And Alexander is now very angry. He says, what do you mean you and I are same? He says, I am a small person. I have very small needs. I came here looking for something so I can feed my family. I went into your tent and I stole something in night and I was caught. You, on the other hand, bring big armies in open daylight and go to other people's land and you start stealing their land by attacking them. Actually, I didn't even attack anybody. I didn't kill anybody. You attack and you steal things from them. So you are a bigger thief and I am a smaller thief. That is the only difference. We both are thieves. Alexander was amazed at seeing this. And he told his soldiers to let that person go. The point I'm trying to make is, whether we do it in a grand way or we do it in a small way, we're still doing the same activities: eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. We boil down, right? I mean, we can do it in a very technologically advanced way. We can sleep in the best Serta mattress, which is $5,000, and the dog may sleep on the street in India. After we and the dog fall asleep, same sleep we both get. We may eat in the 5-star hotel, which costs $50 for a cup of tea, and a beggar may drink, or a dog may drink milk from a bowl. The satisfaction of hunger being thwarted is the same. When you're thirsty, you may get the most expensive Bisleri bottle in India, right? Or you can just drink water collected in a pond or something, just like a dog or a cat would drink. The satisfaction when the thirst is satiated is the same. It's not that if you're drinking from a very expensive glass, you'll be more satisfied. The same satiation everybody feels. We just do it in a grander way, that's all. And in trying to do in a more grander way, we complicate lives for ourselves. We were thinking that the technologies will solve our problems, right? We have advanced in technology. They have created more problems. And now we need a lot more people to manage what we used to get managed very easily. So we try to create more comfort for us, more difficulties come. But at the end of the day, we are acting just like animals in a way, the human beings. The human beings have a higher intelligence. Higher intelligence is given to us. It should be utilized to find out what is good for me and what is bad for me. What should I do and what I should not do. A dog does not discriminate. You put anything in front of dog, he'll start eating. A human being discriminates. Whether I can eat this or not, whether this is good for me or not, whether I should do. Why am I suffering so much? I'm not trying to invite suffering in my life, but the sufferings come, miseries come in my life uninvited. Why am I suffering? Who am I? What am I doing here? I will die one day. I've been working hard day and night, and one day I'll just drop dead and I'll leave everything here for which I worked so hard. Right? We spend 80 to 90% of our time in trying to get something which will be taken away from us when we die. We're taken away. All the big houses, bank balance. And have you ever seen a dog trying to store chapatis for tomorrow? Dog is not worried. But we are more advanced, but still we are under more stress. We are worried where the food will come for tomorrow. Have you ever seen an ant worry or an elephant worry? They are all provided. They don't have to work 8 to 5. They are all provided by nature somehow. But we have created this complicated system. We have complicated our life. So we have got this higher intelligence, but we are not using it for the right purpose. And the people who do that, we are all called Kripan. You know what is Kripan? In Vedic literature, it is called Kripan. Kripan means a miser. Miser means one who has a lot of things, but he does not use it for his own benefit. Just like a person who has millions of dollars with him, but he'll keep it locked in a cupboard, in a bank. And he will live life like a homeless person, like a beggar. He'll be sitting outside the temple, he'll be begging for alms, he'll be living a life of a beggar. Even though he has everything he can afford to have, he has so much money, everything, but he has chosen, he's not using it and he's living a life of a beggar. That is called a kripan, a miserly person, one who has the facilities but does not use it for himself. Similarly, we have this higher intelligence with us. Right? But we have chosen not to use the higher intelligence. We have put it somewhere else and we are using it what? Just to eat, sleep, mate and defend, just like animals. Just like a millionaire chooses to sit like a beggar and live like a homeless person, similarly we have chosen to just lead a life very similar to the animals. We eat, sleep, mate and defend, nothing else we do with our higher intelligence. So begs to differ. What should we do with our higher intelligence? So, at the most, what we do with our higher intelligence, we try to find more ways to enjoy. The dog will never think that he's got a chapati, now he'll go find some cheese, put some sauce and make a pizza and eat. Dog will never, he'll get chapati, he'll eat chapati, he'll be happy. But we worry, now I have to put cheese, now I have to put some sauce on it, now I have to buy an oven, put it in it. How can I make it more tasty? How can I enjoy my life with my higher intelligence? And everybody has the same senses to enjoy. Ears, eyes, nose, tongue, and the sense of touch, which is skin. And we try to enjoy through these things unlimitedly. By employing technology, by working hard day and night. Right? We try to enjoy, we try to put things into ears, into the eyes, into the nose, into the mouth. Try to, do different things so that we can enjoy through our senses. But I don't think anybody is satisfied by enjoying with senses. You keep feeding the senses and the senses want more and more. It's never end. And actually, it is a death part. In Srimad Bhagavatam, it is explained that how eyes trying to see beautiful things through the eyes, because the taste of the eye is to see beautiful things, right? Beauty. The moth, everybody has seen a moth? Here in America, it's not very much widely seen. But in India, during the monsoon season, one feature of India is it has monsoon season for 2 or 3 months. And it rains every day for a few hours, right? And another feature of monsoon season is every time there is rain, electricity goes off. The electricity is cut off because there might be short circuit, there might be so many problems. I never understood why, but as soon as it rains, the electricity is gone. So especially at night when it rains and the electricity is gone, we light candles or lamps. So when you light candle or lamp, there is a certain kind of insect which only gets birth during the monsoon season. And it is called, in English it is translated as moth. But that insect, right, when it gets birth, it tries to look for the light of the candle. And it searches for the light, and it is attracted by the light so much that it dives into the light, right, trying to reach the light. And what happens when it tries to touch the flame, it dies. Right? And when you light a candle, you will see a lot of dead insects around the candle. Even here also, you light, there's lamps outside, a lot of bugs, they get attracted. Actually, they have employed this thing to kill the bugs. There are certain lights that they put outside. You turn that light on, the bugs get attracted, they come closer and zaps it, and it dies. So, this sense of looking becomes dangerous for the moth. It dies. The sense of smell. There's a deer in India. It has a musk. It has a small musk sitting on its stomach nearby the navel. And the deer cannot see where it is. The beautiful aroma comes out of it. The Joan musk perfume they make, it is an artificial musk. But the real musk comes out from the deer. It grows on its body. And the deer is enchanted by that smell. And the deer tries to look for the smell, find, and it runs and runs and runs. And it dies of thirst and hunger after running, fatigue. That is how the deer who has developed musk on its body dies. So the sense of smell leads eventually to the death for some people. The sense of touch. You know how they capture elephants? They make a big hole, and they cover the hole in the earth by some bamboo and some leaves. And it's very fragile, so if you put some weight on it, it will break. And then when an elephant is coming, they will train a she-elephant. A she-elephant will go around, walk past the elephant, and brush next to the elephant, just a little bit. So when the she-elephant brushes with the elephant, the elephant is enchanted by the touch of the she-elephant. And he starts running after the she-elephant. And she's been trained to stand behind that ditch. And the elephant somehow, comes nearby that ditch, and he falls inside and he's captured. Mighty elephant who can kill lions, who can handle 50 people, is now captured by just a mere sense of touch. And the tongue, the famous pastime here of fishing. When you put a little worm inside the water, the tongue, the fish wants to eat that worm. When it opens the mouth to eat the worm, it gets caught up and becomes food for somebody else. And tongue is a cause for a lot of problems. Everybody knows here also. Unlimited speaking and unlimited eating will put us in trouble. So many problems happen because of the little tongue. The 2 or 3 inch long, right? It requires so many food, so much taste. I had heard Bhaiji Herman Prasad Poddar, he's a saint from India, he used to say that everything we are urging to eat, right, it only lasts on the tongue for a few seconds. But for the pleasure of few seconds, right, we kill ourselves. We keep putting things on the tongue. So we try to enjoy through the senses, but that enjoyment just results in misery, misery, misery. So even using the higher intelligence, we are not able to enjoy. And the miseries that we get is also very relative. For example, if it is raining in India, right, and it is monsoon time frame, when you go to buy an umbrella to somebody's place, you see that there are few people who sleep on the road. They'll be cursing the rain. They'll be saying, I wish it doesn't rain at all. Because every time it rains, I have to keep moving my stuff. So the children here, they have never seen poverty or never seen any hardship like that. If you grow up in India, you're very grounded. Right? Because everywhere around you, you see this hardship, you see this poverty. People sleeping outside on the road. And then you realize what you have. What privilege do we have? And, having a bread on the table every day. And we complain if the internet is down for 2 minutes. There are people who have never even seen an LCD screen in their whole life. Today, when we were coming here, Kaya was saying, can I take iPad in the car? I said, Kaya, there is life beyond iPad. You'll enjoy a lot if you don't have iPad. Oh no, I think iPad has all enjoyment in it. That's what, literally she told me that. I said, no, let's talk. I think you'll enjoy more just by talking. And we all grew up like that. When I grew up, there was no TV. TV came pretty late in India. All we did in the evening was sit down together and talk with each other. Now that is gone. Nobody talks with each other. And actually, when we invite friends now at home, and we don't like that friend very much, but we have to invite because they asked us to come to their house. So we turn on the TV, we also watch the show, they also watch the show. Then it's time to eat, we all eat, come back, watch TV, go home. So they also come to just watch TV at our house. It's famous pastime. So much time is spent just downloading movies and watching movies. Thousands and thousands of gigabytes, just download, watch. What is there to watch? And it was not existing before, and people were more happier at that time. And we watch all this thing, and then we want to become like them. And then the thirst increases in our life to become like certain person. And then more problems get created. So these miseries, right? When it rains in India, some people who live on the footpath, they think, oh, I wish it doesn't rain at all, so that I can just live at one place. But the shop who's selling umbrella will think, I wish it rains every day because I can sell more umbrella. So this misery is also very relative. One person's misery, another person's happiness. What is another example? When you go into accident, it's very miserable for going into accident. For all the body shop people, they are very happy. Every morning they wake up and they pray, oh my Lord, please, at least 4 or 5 more accidents today, so that the car get towed to my house. When the car doesn't start in the morning in winter, when I came here some years back, winter was the most terrible thing for me. Because I used to work, in a manufacturing company, and I had a very old car because no money. So you buy the cheapest car you can get. And for some reason, the cheapest cars, they don't like winter very well. So they don't start in the morning and all those things. So when they don't start, you would make $7.14 an hour. Now you're worried the mechanic's going to charge you $30 an hour to fix this baby. Right? The mechanic becomes very happy when the car doesn't start. But we become very frustrated when the car... One person's misery is another person's happiness. So the misery is also... what miseries to extinguish in our life? Are these all real miseries? Right? Not having enough food to eat. Some people who has diabetes, you put gulab jamuns and cake in front of them, he's thinking, oh my God, this is very miserable. I cannot even look at this thing. Another person who is very healthy is thinking, oh, I wish there is more gulab jamun. Right? So all these miseries are very relative. How do we extinguish miseries then? What miseries to extinguish? You extinguish this misery, somebody else becomes miserable here. So the real problems in the life, right, is not to extinguish these small miseries. which is relative. Today, not getting sweets or ice cream to eat is miserable for me. Tomorrow, once I have diabetes, it is a blessing for me that I don't have now. So similarly, not being able to drive a car is misery for now. Tomorrow, when you have seizures and epilepsy, it's a blessing that you don't have a car, you don't have to drive it anymore. So all these things is very relative. So using higher intelligence to solve these small miseries, he's using a big bazooka gun to kill a mosquito. So what should be higher intelligence be used to deal with what kind of miseries? It should be used to deal with the miseries which are the biggest miseries in the world and which are universal. Srimad Bhagavad Gita is the most, esteemed scripture from India. Gita has been read everywhere. And Gita, if anybody reads the whole Gita, it's only 700 text in it, 700 slokas. You can read whole Gita. There are people who recite whole Gita in 2 hours every day, less than 2 hours. I know one person in Harrisburg who has a habit of reciting Bhagavad Gita every day, and he does it in 1 hour 15 minutes. Gita starts with who you are. Right? No school educates us who we are. Anything that the school teaches, Prabhupada used to say, schools are a slaughterhouse anymore. All they do is to teach you how to become successful in the life, and for them, success is how to make more money. That is the definition of success nowadays. How to make more money, how to look more beautiful, how to be better than other person is success. More money is also not a problem. You need to have more than other people is the biggest thing. Right? Have bigger and better than other people. That is what competition. And in companies, if you are not very competitive, they say you're dead. You are not very passionate about your job. That means you are not a good candidate to move ahead and become a CEO. You should be very passionate. My CEO used to make a speech, and they would say, when I thwart my competition, I feel very happy. Oh yeah, think about the competition. When they lose their jobs, their families get destroyed. How about that? But that is the capitalist structure, right? You step on other people's shoulder. This is being taught. It's a slaughterhouse. How to move ahead. The real thing which is needed is who we are. Using the higher intelligence. What should I use my higher intelligence for? What is the real problem? Thank you, Beta. What is my real problem in the life? Bhagavad Gita, in the beginning, talks about the real problem in the life. What is a symptom of a real problem? It is applicable to everybody. That's number one symptom to real problem. Right? Another thing is, nobody wants it. But still, right? That is a real problem. Nobody wants it. For some people, it is very funny. One who is very millionaire, you ask him, what do you want in your life later on? Oh, I wish I can retire to a very nice solitude place, have a very small house and live happily over there. A person who has a small house, you ask him, what is your goal? Oh, I wish I can build a big mansion. People who live in Himalayas, they want, in the small villages of Himalayas, they want to go out in big metropolitan city and get jobs. This is the situation. People who live in villages, they want to go to the city and work in the big companies. People who run big companies, they want to go back into the villages and make farmhouses and live there happily, not doing much. Right? So, the problem it should be problem for each and every person. Right? And then the misery should be that nobody should ever want it. Everybody should not want it. Whether it's a dog or a cat or a human being, nobody should want that misery to come in their life. And what is the third qualification for a real misery or a real problem? The third qualification is, even if you don't want it, will come to you. Even if you don't want it, it will come to you. So Bhagavad Gita says, a real problem is not having ice cream in the fridge tonight. Right? Real problem is not trying to download a movie and you can't find it on the internet. There are people who get angry when that thing happens. And then their child comes and says, Papa, I have this problem with the homework, you beat up the child. Just because you're not able to download that song or something, right? So, the real problem is not. Real problem is the problem which is applicable to everybody, whether human being, dog, cat, amoeba, virus, tree, plant. And everybody gets it, even if they don't want it. That is the real problem. And what are those real problems? Janma mrityu jara vyadhi dukha dosanu darshanam. Srimad Bhagavad Gita says. Dukha dosanu darshanam. What is the real dukha? Dukha means problem, misery. Dosh is defect in our existence. Darshanam, one should be trained to learn what is the real problem in life, Bhagavad Gita says. So what are the real problems in life? Janma, birth. Mrityu, death. Jara is old age. And Vyadhi, getting diseased. These are the four things which everybody gets, even if they don't want. There is no way out, right? And it is equally applicable to each and every living entity. Whether you are a plant, or an animal, or a human being, or a demigod in a higher planetary system. It does not matter. Everybody follows this four thing, has to get this four thing. As far as you are in this material world, you are going to get this four things. And we all celebrate somebody's birth because we are standing outside. For us, oh, birth is so cute, right? The baby is so cute, the baby is kicking inside the stomach. Can you imagine what happens when the baby is inside the stomach, packed in this much small place, bent at the back, not being able to even move its arms and legs freely? It is suffocated inside, right? It is trying to free itself, and in that endeavor, sometimes it feels like the baby is kicking, and you become very happy. Oh, the baby is kicking me. So cute, right? And the mother eats something pungent or something very sour or hot, the baby struggles because it feeds whatever the mother eats. If now, after being birthed, if somebody says, oh, there is a new motel on this exit, and it has similar conditions to the womb, would you like to stay there for a night? Forget 9 months. You will say, sorry, it's very horrible. I will not. It's only 1 by 1 room. You have to crawl inside and sleep with your knees touching your forehead. And then you will not get anything to eat. And there will be a small pipe which will only feed you whatever. And that is, by the way, you have no say on what will come inside. Right? And you will be passing urine, stool, everything inside. It will be very filthy condition. The skin is very tender, the baby is irritated inside. Srimad Bhagavatam very clearly describes the situation of a baby inside the womb. And this was written many thousand years ago. And different stages, how the sperm develops into the baby. In 1 month it is this thing, then after 2 months this happens, after this, and so on. It shows how precarious the situation is of birth. We are standing outside and we are celebrating, oh, very nice, the baby is being birthed. It's a very precarious situation. Thank God we forget the agony of birthing. Actually, the scripture says that the process of birthing is so, tormenting. The baby gets so much shocked, it completely forgets about its previous life also. But while in the womb, Srimad Bhagavatam says that the baby prays around 7th or 8th month to the Supreme Lord, that please put me out of this miserable condition. I will surrender myself and I will become a nice person. And I will try to get out of this material world next time. I will become your devotee. Please, liberate me from this. Hare Krishna. So this birth is very, very, very precarious thing. And then old age. How many of us are looking forward to old age? Very few of us are looking forward to old age, right? And you ask old people, they're very miserable. And Surat is not looking forward to old age. Everybody looks forward to becoming young and staying young. It's a big industry how to remain young. There is no big industry how to become old. Right? Believe me, if it was something very desirable, they would have opened many, many factories how to become old and being advertised on the TV. Being old is very precarious. Your own children, whom you took care of, are now tired of you. They are inside hoping when you will die. And pass on your money to them. This is the most amazing thing. The children whom you changed diapers, for whom you stayed hungry and fed them. Right? When they would wet the bed, you would sleep on the wet portion, you would put them on the dry portion. Those same children, when you get old and they have to serve you, they think it's a big botheration. Because now you have a very successful career, you have your own family to take care of. I don't have time to take that old person to the doctor's appointment, take care of his this problem, that problem, right? I wish inside a small hope. If there is a disease, he goes to the hospital, there is a small hope. I hope he passes away this time. Very precarious, being old. You can see in everybody's eyes that you are not wanted. And then being diseased, whether you want or not, this body is such, it will become diseased. It will become diseased. There is not a single person in this whole, single living entity in the whole world who will not become diseased. They'll say, I will never get any disease in my life. And death, everybody knows how much we hate it. Nobody wants to die. So these 4 problems are the real problems of the life. Why? One should question with the higher intelligence. Why, even though I don't want birth, death, old age and disease, why does it keep coming to me? I don't want it for my family. Why does it come to them? What is the cause of all these problems? One should try to find out with the higher intelligence. And therefore, one should look for the cause of all the things. So one should try to acquire knowledge to find out why these problems are coming. And knowledge could be acquired in 3 different ways. I'm using the very basic thing today because it's always good to hear the basic philosophy also. Because Prabhupada always used to speak about basic philosophy. Somebody said, Prabhupada, why are you not talking about some higher topics? Prabhupada said, first understand the basic philosophy properly. First we have to understand I am not this soul, I am not this body, I am soul. First we have to understand who I am. Then worry about other higher philosophy. So 3 ways one can acquire knowledge. One easiest way is pratyaksh praman. Pratyaksh, aksha means eyes. Pratyaksh means by looking, by feeling ourselves and looking ourselves. Using our senses to see what's going on. It's called pratyaksh praman. So, but there is a problem. Our senses are very limited. Very limited. Can't even see what is behind this wall. Just because they have put colors on those tubes, I know one has cold water, one has hot water. Otherwise, just by looking at the tube, I can't even see which one has hot water or cold water. Sometimes, and another problem is, I am very easy to become illusioned. You drink certain kind of liquid and you think you're the king of this world, right? And so sometimes if the clouds cover the sun, we feel like the sun is being hidden. We think sun is only this small. We are very easily illusioned. Right? Even animals have better senses than us. Certain decimal sound levels we can't even hear, but dogs and cats can hear that. We cannot even hear certain sounds. So we have very limitation, and we have propensity to cheat. Right? We have propensity to cheat. Whatever we have, we try to show more to other people. Isn't that true? We have only this much money, but outside we want to, decorate the house in such a way, make a show that I am more educated, I am more gentle. Outside we behave very nicely because we want to cheat other people to think I am a very gentleman, I am very loving and caring towards my family. I really care about other people, but inside we only care about ourselves. We try to show more than we have. We have tendency to cheat. And another big problem we have is we have tendency to commit mistakes. Anybody who cannot commit mistakes other than the wives here? Everybody can commit mistake, right? Everybody has a tendency to commit mistake. Only we think I cannot make mistake. Other person knows how many mistakes we can make. So we have a tendency to make a mistake. So with these 4 problems in our life, how can we ourselves understand what is real knowledge? Or where we should use our higher intelligence? So this process of gathering knowledge is not very much considered super or best. It is okay, but not the best. What is second? Anuman. You try to speculate. What is the real truth? What is knowledge? But that has its own danger. For example, there is a hospital here and all the specialists are sitting taking lunch in the hospital. And they have glass doors and glass windows and they see a person who's limping and is dragging his feet while he's walking. Right? So then the neurologist will say, oh, I think there is some problems with his neurons. They are not transmitting properly to his leg. That's why his left leg is dragging. But the orthopedic doctor will say, no, I think there is some problem with his disc. And therefore he's dragging. And the skin specialist will say, oh, I think there are some lesions on his skin, and therefore he's not able to lift his leg. So all the doctors, endocrinologists will say something. Everybody has their own opinion. But then a smart person will go out and say, my dear sir, why are you limping? And he'll say, oh, I'm wearing this flip-flop and one of the strap broke. So I've not been able to lift my leg properly, therefore I have to drag my feet. So this is the problem with speculation. We can speculate, but it does not give us the real knowledge. So what is, right? Through our senses we cannot get real knowledge. Through speculation we cannot get real knowledge. You know what is speculation like? You put 5 blind people and put an elephant in the room and make them touch different parts of the elephant. Where everybody has heard this story. And you ask them, what is this? Tell me. The person who is touching the feet will say it's a pillar. Person who is touching the tail will say it's like a rope, right? And who is touching the ears will say it is something else. Touching the tusk will say it's like a sharp object, like a muzzle of a gun or something. So everybody has different observation. This is speculation. But then a person who knows what that thing is, you call him into the room, then he will tell you who that person is. That is why, we are all like blind as far as the real knowledge is concerned. And the person who has the real knowledge is called Guru, the spiritual master, right? Or the literature. And what is the duty of the Guru or the literature? Ajnana timirandhasya jnananjana salakaya chaksur unmilitam yena tasmai Sri Guruve Namah. The duty of a Guru is ajnana timirandhasya. Ajnan means ignorance. When we are covered, we are blinded. Timir andhasya. Andhasya means blinded. Timir means darkness. When we are blinded by the darkness of ignorance, how can one come out? Gyan anjana shalakaya. One should take a small, shalaka is like a small rod which is used to put some ointments in the eye. So somebody should take the ointment of knowledge and put it in our eyes. Gyananjana shalakya. When he puts that ointment in our eye, what happens? Chakshur unmilitam yena. Chakshur, the eyes, unmilitam becomes lighted up yena by that ointment. Tasvai Sri Guruve Namah. That person who puts the ointment of knowledge in our eye and enlightens us, removes our blindness of ignorance, is called the Guru. And getting the knowledge from the Guru is the best when that is called Sabda Praman. Sabda Praman means one who has seen the truth. Srimad Bhagavad Gita teaches whom should you understand or get the knowledge from. Tad vidhi pratipatena pariprashtena sevya updekshanti te jnanam jnanina tattvadarshina. One who has seen the real truth, understood the real truth properly, one should learn from that person. An example is given. If you want to know how is Australia, then one way to know is speculate. Oh, Australia must be like this, must be like that. But that is just speculation. Another way is you can spend money, buy ticket, go to Australia, come back. It's very expensive and time-consuming way. Third is somebody who knows about Australia, you just ask him, he'll tell you everything, along with the pictures. So similarly, the best way to gain knowledge, and that is being propagated even today in the schools. Right? H2 plus O2 becomes H2O. Right? Hydrogen plus oxygen. Everything is being taught to us in the school. Only few things we do practical, right, in the lab. But most of the things we accept on the face value from the teacher because we understand the teacher is knowing the truth and is teaching the right thing. That is called the method of Sabda Praman. Right? And this method is the best method. So, these literatures that we get is Sabda Praman. The saintly people who have seen the Supreme Lord, who have seen the truth, who have understood who we are, why we are having problems in the life, based on their experience and based on seeing the truth, they have written literatures and volumes and volumes of literature. Bhagavad Gita is one of them. We have to read them nicely, study them nicely, from a person who has understood them very well, and understand what is the real goal of life, who we are, why are we having these problems, even though we don't want these problems, and how I can solve these problems. So,
Shri Shri Laddu Gopal ki ki jai.
So Bhoga is to be offered, right? So let us talk about on the basis of Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, who we are, why do we suffer even if we don't want to suffer, and what is the goal of our life. That is what the scriptures, Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam teaches us. Actually, Bhagavad Gita alone is enough to teach us the whole thing. Who we are, why do I suffer if I don't want to suffer, and what is the goal of my life, or goal of each and every living entity. So first of all, Bhagavad Gita explains that there is somebody called a Supreme Lord. So we can question, how I don't believe that there is God. Okay, then we should think, alright, let's say if there is no God, then we have to, because we are all students of science, we have to then think and analyze everything properly. Very simple analysis is, whatever urge we have here, that nature has made an arrangement to satisfy that urge. For example, common urges I'm talking about, not urge to buy an iPad or urge to buy an expensive car. These are all artificial urges. But the natural urges that we have, right? That we become thirsty. So then the nature provides us water to drink. We become hungry, the nature provides us food to eat. Similarly, whatever urges we have naturals, the nature has provided a solution for those urges. One natural urge everybody has is to serve somebody. It's a very natural urge. Everybody wants to serve somebody, a higher power. Right? And higher power is just intermediate knowledge. Actually, everybody wants to serve somebody lovingly. Everybody wants to serve somebody lovingly. So if we cannot find anybody to serve, then we'll get a dog and we'll try to serve the dog. But everybody wants to serve somebody in the life. There is not a single person who does not want to serve anybody. And everybody has a higher authority on them. So you are destined to serve somebody higher. Right? It's a natural urge to serve and serve the higher authority. Even the CEO of IBM has a higher authority above him. And that person has a higher authority above him. There is not a single person who does not have a higher authority about him. So one has to understand that there has to be a higher authority somewhere, which is arranged for everybody's natural needs to be taken care of, and everybody's urge to serve is being satisfied by serving that person. Number one. Number two, where did everything come from? Right? We say, one day, there was some big bang and everything got created. And that's very nice, and that is a way to get things created. So tomorrow, let's go out and make another big bang and see how many things get created out of that. Only thing we see is destruction coming out of the bang. That's number two. Even if the creation happened based on a bang, where did the ingredients of the bang come from? How did they manifest? Who supplied the ingredients for the bang? Who is the proprietor of everything? Right now we say America is our country. This is my property. But before you, somebody else owned this property. Before you, somebody else owned this property. Before, the Britishers came here, the Native Americans stayed here. Now the Native Americans are probably drinking and gambling and living in a very small portion of America, unfortunately. Right? And somebody else called this the land of the free. Right? And then before the Native Americans used to live here, it was somebody else's land. Right? So, whose is this ultimately? Who provided for all these things? Who is the source of each and everything which is being seen here? Number one. There has to be somebody. There has to be a creator. Once Newton was in his office, in his laboratory, and he was visited by his scientist friend. So Newton was busy with something, so he says, can you please sit in that waiting room? So when he went into the waiting room, on a table, there was a nice mechanism. When you press a lever on that mechanism, suddenly the structure of universe would come afloat. And there will be a sun and there will be planets, rotating around the sun in their fixed orbits properly. So the person was astonished to see that. So when Newton came in, he asked Newton, this is wonderful, who made this model? Newton said, I don't know. I just walked into my office a month ago and it was standing there. He says, no, how is that possible? Somebody has to make this thing. He says, no, seriously. I walked into this office and one morning and it was just standing there on its own, it was working. And he says, no, you're joking with me. Tell me who made this. I want to get one similar thing for my office. Newton said, my dear friend, if this simple mechanism thing cannot manifest on its own, how do you imagine this big planets floating in the air, rotating around the sun in such a way that they are not crashing with each other, right? They're existing. There has to be somebody who has designed. As soon as we see a simple computer, we try to see who's the manufacturer of the computer. We cannot understand that that computer is existing on its own. I'll say, oh no, yesterday I was just walking, I was driving my car and I bumped into somebody else's car and out came my trunk or new computer because I bumped and I had a bang with somebody. No, these bangs don't create computers. There has to be a designer, a creator who created this thing. But unfortunate thing is, this is where our higher intelligence should be used to chase these kind of questions. But we are so much engrossed in feeding our senses, our sense gratification. We are so much engrossed into so-called normal life, which is work hard like a dog, make a lot of money, grow big family, buy big things and then die. That is the fashion. Buy name brand things. Look for sale. People spend so much time looking for sale on the internet. And out of internet they buy things which they don't need at all. Thank God they have basements, right? Otherwise, where will we put all these things? Even I'm saying it, my house is full of things. People keep buying things. Because we have created this so-called lifestyle which does not afford us to step back and think, what am I doing? We need a wake-up call actually. Once, there was a taxi driver, right? A person caught a taxi, probably in New York or someplace, and the guy is zipping through the streets of New York, and suddenly there was a place where the person wanted himself to be dropped. So he tapped the driver from behind, and the driver jumped in his car, and he braked suddenly right in the middle of the road. The person said, wait a minute, what happened? I just tapped you gently on their back. I want to get down here. He says, don't ever do that to me. He says, why? He says, till yesterday I was driving the limo for dead people. So I have never been tapped from behind. Anything I carried so far was dead people in my backseat. So when you tapped me, I got scared. Right? So that is we are driving. What do they call that car? In which they carry the dead people? Huh? A hearse, right? Hearse. So I've been driving this hearse forever in my life. So this is what we are. We've been living a life of everybody. It's like a sheep mentality, right? Have you seen, here you don't see much ships, but when you see sheep, there is one sheep walking, everybody will walk behind it. They will not question. That sheep will fall in khadda, in a ditch, everybody else will fall in a ditch. And my Guru Maharaj was saying that he saw it with his own eyes, that in India, the railway tracks are open. There is no, sophisticated things that before the railway comes, this thing falls down. There is a person, sometimes he will use a manual crank to make the gate fall. That person, if he is drinking tea at somebody's house, then the train will come and go, the gates will not come down. So he says he saw a herd of sheep roaming around, and one sheep walked towards the railway track, all the other sheep followed, and then a train came, and it really crushed a lot of sheep over there. So this is the sheep mentality that we are following, honestly. Everybody leads the lifestyle of being more successful, making a lot of money, buying big cars, houses, big bank balance, 401k. The 401k is the most funniest thing. You can't touch it till you're 65 or 69. You keep putting money and every day you worry the stock market went up, the stock market went down. Only 7% return, only 5% return. Right? And you keep worrying and you die at 46 of a heart attack. What is this? Right? So this is the lifestyle which we've been taught to live. Sheep mentality. We don't question the reality at all. Somebody needs to tap us from the back, make us jump on the seat and say, hey, wait a minute, you're not carrying a dead person anymore. There's a live person sitting in your car seat. Right? So we have to step back and see, where is all these things coming from? And by the way, just for a regular country to operate, there are laws, right? There are laws being put. Even for a railway to operate, there are laws being put. That this track is for a train to go on this side. If another train wants to come, there will be a signal, it has to wait. After this train passes, you have to go. How do we think that there are no laws for living a human life? There is no laws to be followed as a living entity. Nobody has made, no, there are strict laws which are enforced by the nature. Krishna says, Prakruti kriyamanani gune sarvani sarvasaha. Ahankar vimudatma karta ham iti manyati in Bhagavad Gita. He says, Ahankar, these living entities have become so much puffed up by their knowledge and intelligence and technological advancement. They think I am the doer, but really my nature is guiding each and everybody how to act. There is the theory of karma that Bhagavad Gita talks about. We often think why good things happen to bad people. Unfortunately, we don't have time to talk about all these things. We need at least 9, 7, 8 hours to talk in detail what is real essence of Bhagavad Gita. But there are stringent laws of karma, right, which are acting on us. Laws of nature which are acting on us. We have to know all these laws and behave according to the law in order to become really happy. If I say, oh, I want to live in America, but I don't want to follow the laws of America, I'll be very oblivious to the laws of America. April 15 comes, I will file tax when I feel like filing taxes. No, IRS will be after you. You're required. There are laws. If it is red light, you have to stop. Okay? I say, oh no, in my country, red light, everybody goes, I'll keep going. In India, it doesn't matter, red light, green light, white light, no light, everybody drives. Till I came here, a lot of cars didn't even have headlight. Right? And when I was small, I used to drive we call it ST buses, state transport buses. I have seen ST buses, when they take us from one city to other, oh my God, it's only one lane road, so traffic, both side traffic is using just one single lane road, okay? And there is raining, and you know what kind of wiper? The driver has to push the lever from inside while he's driving for the wiper to operate. It's a manual wiper and no power steering or no power gear. I have seen the driver, when changing the gear, he really puts all his weight on the gear. And when he's turning the steering, he would turn the steering. I would find it so amazing. And the drivers had a dress where they would have a flap on their shoulder. So when they turn this way, this flap would go up and down. And I was thinking, man, I grow up, I'll become a driver. And I'll wear a shirt with that flap on me. And then I'll turn the steering. Because he was working so hard, turning the steering wheel, I was thinking, he's really doing a great job. Putting the gear and can you imagine here in America driving a car where you have to manually do the wipers? They'll put you behind the jail, right? It's not a safe car to drive. There are laws and regulations. You cannot bring in a car and say, oh, I don't care about wipers. I grew up driving. I had seen my uncle. This is truth. We were driving there is a place called Nadiyat to Baroda. It is 60 kilometers away. My uncle was driving car, and thank to him I'm still alive. It was raining. So when it rains, it fogs inside also. And the wipers were not working. So he would open the window, take a cloth, wipe outside, wipe inside, wipe outside, wipe, and he drove like that to Baroda. From 60 kilometers, my God, all my nails were gone that day. But you cannot do all this. There are laws, right, regulating, right? See, if living in a country, you have to follow laws. Working for a company, we have to follow laws. Then, why do we assume there are no laws by the nature? There are laws of the nature. And if these laws are here in this country, then we know there are lawmakers. Isn't that true? If there are laws in the country, then there are lawmakers. So if there is a laws of nature, how can we imagine there is no lawmaker who's making the law for the nature? But we are living such a lifestyle, it does not give us time to think about all these apparent things in front of us. Apparent things. It is like day and night. Who is supplying oxygen? Who is supplying water? Who created gravity? Did somebody put a machine down here for the gravity? No. Why is it that only in this planet there are certain environment that we can live? Right? Oh, we're trying to find life here, life there, this, that. Why things are happening? We should use this higher intelligence to understand all this thing, the higher power. So at least we can understand by looking at all this thing that the Supreme Lord or the higher power should be such who is the creator of everything. He's the proprietor of everything. Through him comes everything. Right? He makes the laws for everybody. And that is explained in Bhagavad Gita very nicely. Aham sarvasva prabho matta sarva pravartate iti matva bhajante ma buddha bhav samanvita. Who's buddha bhav samanvita? Who is intelligent? One who understands me, the Supreme Lord, as aham sarvasva prabho. My energy is pervading in each and every atoms of this universe. Nothing can exist without my energy. Matta sarva pravartate. My desire is being executed everywhere in this world. Nothing happens by my will. Iti matva bhajante ma buddha bhav samanvita. Understanding this, one who creates relationship with me is known to be intelligent. Mame vansa jivaloka jiva bhuta sanatana. Mame vansa jivaloko. All these living entities are my part and parcel. Mame vansha jivaloko jiva bhuta sanatana. And each and every living entity is eternal. Only this body dies. Bhagavad Gita explains, this is the basic, who am I? I am not this body. Right? When somebody dies, we say he left. No. If he's the body, then he's still lying here. Why are we saying he left? The soul, right, has a particular identity. So we are part and parcel. Mame vansa jivaloka jiva bhuta sanat. I am part and parcel of the Supreme Being. Just like the hand is part and parcel of the body. So what is that? You have to unfortunately tolerate me till this bhoga is done. So I can, because we cannot do arti till the offering is made. So just like the duty of the hand is to feed the mouth. If the hand wants to remain strong and happy, it cannot keep the food in its hand, in its palms. It says, okay, now I'm very happy. I don't have to share it with my mouth and my stomach and my legs and everything. It is my cake. I want my cake and I want to eat it. So after 2 or 3 days, the cake becomes stale in the hand. It starts smelling and the hand becomes weak. But when the hand puts the cake in the mouth, the whole body gets nourished and the hand also gets nourished. Similarly, we are part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. And we have to serve the Supreme Being, from which we are part and parcel of, to become happy. Till then, real happiness will not come. And therefore, it is very hard to see the Supreme Lord by our own eyes, by our limited senses. Therefore, showing mercy upon us, He comes in the form of a deity. So that through serving Him through the deity, we can establish some relationship. Our reason, our main goal of human life, I'm skipping so many things because I want to finish now. Our goal of human life is to establish a relationship with the Supreme Lord. And how to establish a relationship with the Supreme Lord? Supreme Lord is not like a dictator who is punishing everybody for their good thing, for their bad thing. No. Actually, that is a perverted reflection of what He is. He is a loving father, loving mother, loving friend, loving son. He will accept whatever relationship we create with Him. And He is always loving. He will never punish a single living entity. That is what the scriptures say. We get punished by our own actions. Every action has equal and opposite reaction. The Supreme Lord has nothing to do with... Which father and mother would want to punish their children? For they do not derive any pleasure by punishing their children. Prabhuji, do you derive any pleasure by punishing them? No. And sometimes you have to be harsh on them to teach them the right thing for their own benefit. But inside you feel very sad that I had to today scold him. Right? But it is a loving relationship. So we try to serve the Supreme Lord to create a loving relationship. So the Lord manifests in different form. So at the form of Manoj Prabhu's house, in the house of Manoj Prabhu, He has manifested in the form of a small child. So like with motherly affection, parental love, you can worship Him. You make food for Him, you provide Him food, and He reciprocates. We are all students of science. We have to practically execute this thing. For 6 months, you serve Him nicely, dress Him, bath Him, make food for Him, give Him food, whatever you eat, you give it to Him before you eat and so on. and you will see the love which comes back from him. If a simple small child falls in love with a Barbie doll which is made out of plastic, how about us? Then what is us from stopping and falling in love with Krishna, who has manifested in a deity form? Therefore, we worship deity. But the easiest way to worship Krishna is by chanting his holy name. And all religions, they accept this thing. In Christianity, in Muslim religion, in Jewish tradition, everywhere, the Lord's name is to be cherished. So by chanting the holy name of the Lord, one can easily form a relationship. How? I think it's a topic for next time, because it has become a very long discussion. I can see people's face, they are hungry already. So I'll stop here. I just want to make one comment. Please don't think that there are 50 different religions and that religion is right and this religion is wrong. Because actually there is only one religion, and it's the religion of love. God wants love from us and He wants to love us. That is the only one religion. Each and every religion teaches the same thing, maybe in a little different way. And God sends His different people to teach us this thing. And sometimes He comes Himself to teach us the same thing. Maybe the way it is taught is a little different, but the aim is one, because there is only one God. It is not your God, my God, their God, His God, and we fight which God is more stronger, nothing like that. Converting one person from one place to other, you become a Christian, you become a Hindu, you become a Muslim, otherwise you will never go back to God. Is God that stupid? That, only if you are Muslim, you will come to heaven? No. Or only if you're Hindu, or only if you're Christian, only if you accept me, you will come? No. In whatever form you accept. Just like a child, in whatever way it prays, a child doesn't know how to talk. He can use any language the mother will understand. Similarly, however way we create a loving relationship with the Supreme Lord, He will accept it and He will reciprocate. I'll stop here. Any questions or comments we can discuss during Prasadam time. So let's do Aarti. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Jaya Laddu Gopal, Jaya Laddu Gopal, Laddu Gopal, Jaya Laddu Gopal. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Shila Prabhupada. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nivishesha Punyavani Paschatya Nishadharine Krishna, Jai Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda. Gadada Shiva Sari Gaur Bhakta Krishna Jai Kanya Prabhu Nityananda Advaita Gadada Shiva Sadi Gaur Bhakta Krishna Jai Kanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shiva Sari Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Oh, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Oh, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Oh Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,